said, oh, he got us. That nigga got us, bro. Damn. I said, don't look, but DOT right there. I'm still. Boom, boom, boom. You know, DOT, that's the feds, basically. Right. DOT see this, they can lock us up for real. They don't play about you duct taping this shit together. You're bugging. Ain't gonna drive down the highway.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Shit, come off. I said, all right, come on.
I was a bad son. Now I'm a good dad. I was a bad son. Now I'm a good dad. I was a bad son. Now I'm a good dad. What up? When I was a little boy, I put my hood on my back. All eyes on me and nobody cut me no slack. While bowling up and down, that cold money was all I thought. And daddy was selling drugs, so it made me say fuck sports. Him teaching me the game, felt like he was passing the torch. In front of projects, I jumped off the stoop, not a port. My OGs was my idols, not no Meech or Rick Ross. And remember, to be a boss, life was always the cause. I carried Christ on my back, that's why they call me the cross. And whenever shit was rough, I just hustle and stay my course. And every time I pull myself back on my feet, digging my cleats. Every step I take, rip up the streets. A gun in a vest, some money and weed is all I need. When I hit the block, my mama started losing her sleep. To love a nigga like me is really not for the weak.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of Good Dad, Bad Son with your favorite cousins. Y'all like that new intro? Been jamming to it all day. Been jamming to it all day, man. I appreciate you, Cross. Yes, sir.
He's back outside.
Yes, sir. I'm glad I got a minute to holler at you before the rest of the crew jumped on.
What's up?
I was thinking about you always make reference to it when we was in the park this one day talking about what our next move was, and how I had that thick ass application trying to get the school together, and you was in trucking school, or you had just finished?
What year that was?
Like right after your vacation, I think it was like 2016.
Yeah, I was still like in the midst of it. Yeah, I don't even think I might didn't even get in it yet, get into school yet.
But you had already got the game from White Boy.
Yep.
So that's what I had wanted to talk to you. Entrepreneurship. You always was going that direction, or you was forced into it? Working for yourself.
For the trucking stuff?
Yeah.
Forced into it.
What happened? Like you was gonna do the 9 to 5 for somebody else?
Yeah. No experience. No experience at first, and no experience. No background. Background first, and then no experience. The ones that didn't mind the background, it was the no experience.
So it was one or the other.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like they was let me see, what was it? Oh, when they do the background, okay, so it was non-violent. So the ones that was like, all right, it's non-violent charges, boom. Yeah, but then experience I was under a year.
Okay.
Under a year experience.
Okay. When you was growing up, were you surrounded by entrepreneurs, or it was mainly 9 to 5 workers?
Shit, block.
So neither, huh?
I mean, no, I'm saying the entrepreneurs on the corner.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? The entrepreneurs on the corner, yeah. It's not too many. The foreigners come over in New York. The foreigners come over there. The West Indians, as far as black,
yeah.
The West Indians, they come over and they're entrepreneurs.
Okay.
They're opening shops or restaurants and stuff. The foreigners have skills. Most black Americans don't have skills, especially Northerners.
Yeah.
It's the Southerners that have the skills. It's the country niggas. The country niggas know how to do stuff, not the Northern niggas. When we escaped from the plantation and ran up north, we got weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember knowing that entrepreneurship was an option. They were, in school, they always preached to you, job.
Me neither.
Get good grades, get a good job.
Right.
They sold us on some nonsense, didn't they?
Yeah, me neither, bro. For real. Now that you bring it up, nah, I never thought about nothing.
That's crazy.
Not nothing, but, especially legally.
Right.
You don't even see it.
I didn't know one entrepreneur
you don't even see it.
Immediate circle.
But I'm telling you, I think it's a northern thing. I'm not saying all. Never saying all. But you see it more in the South.
It's harder in New York too.
It is.
Everything's so expensive.
The Jews keep their feet on their necks in New York. That's Jew York. That is Jew York, bro.
My man, he a nurse in New York, and he had hit me up about opening a school up there. So he trying to go
Good
do
luck.
all the paper. Man, they sending him back and forth.
He better go to Jersey or upstate New York, Mount Vernon, get out the city.
That's crazy. He in Buffalo, but
he in Buffalo.
The state want to run every school. There's not a lot of entrepreneurial schools up there. You got to be.
And being that y'all closer to Albany, they really gonna be watching y'all.
Yeah. So he ain't been getting.
Because Albany control all of that.
That is nuts. What was your first hustle, your first business move, even if it wasn't
selling waters on Atlantic Avenue?
You was one of the original water boys?
Man, we had to start that shit, bro. It wasn't no water boys in when that was, 99.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? 2000, 99. Yeah. It had to be 99.
You had a click clacking?
Yeah. Yeah. And to the point where shit, niggas was selling waters for me. I ain't bullshit. I swear.
Your mom said you used to be a genius, bro.
And not only that, O was stealing them.
So it was 100% profit.
Oh, because I remember we was at Pathwalk, right on Fulton there. We loaded up the shopping cart.
Where you got in trouble for bagging groceries all night one day?
No, that was when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
This is later. This is 17, 18.
Okay.
And we was in Pathwalk. We got a shopping cart full of waters, man. Might have been 2 shopping carts. But I know he was pushing. And I stopped to pay. And he looked at me and he just kept walking.
Like, what you doing?
Yeah, he just kept going. He just kept going. I said, all right. I walked out. Those joints was free.
Nice. That's a hell of a head start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what we started doing. Just taking them. It's not paying for them. But yeah, it was selling waters.
Okay.
Yeah, it was selling waters. But I always like we was talking about before when it snowed. That's why I always loved the snow.
Yeah.
I made so much money shoveling them cars out the. I mean, I'm talking about 9, 10.
Getting to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was hitting them for like $10?
Whatever they give me.
Whatever.
But see, that's when I was in sheep shed a lot. Like, you know, I was younger than that. But I had to be like 8, 9, bro.
So that's like a rich neighborhood?
The outside of the projects in Sheepshead Bay is Russians and white people. You know what I'm saying? Basically white people, Russians, some Jews, Italians. And bro, they was giving me $50, $40. Nice. They was socking it to my pocket. You hear me? Loving me.
Dr. J. Kelly said, one thing about BJ, he's going to make sure everyone around eating. He probably had a water empire back in the day.
Yeah. It didn't last long, though. The police started kicking us off Atlantic Avenue.
Hey.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
They rather y'all sell drugs.
Mm-hmm. They came over there asking for business licenses and all that. Man, shut up, man. Mm-hmm. Yep. Shoveling that snow and packing them bags.
He said we used to make great money shoveling snow in New York in the 90s.
Word up. And packing bags.
Man.
Packing bags, I had to be like 8, 9. I'll leave up out of there with like $20-something, bro. $30. You know, that was a lot. I was rich.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I
Couple
remember
days a week too?
I remember, bro. I'm coming back to the projects, going to the corner store. Yo, what y'all want?
Okay.
I was like that, 8, 9 years old. Straight up. Buying 50-cent sodas for about 3, 4 of us. 50-cent soda, chips, cookies, and shit. Right?
You the man.
Me and my niggas. I always was like that. Always.
That's nuts. So with the trucking, we talk about it all the time and be up and down, but more up than good because you about damn near 10 years into it. Mm-hmm. Did it ever come a time where you almost gave up and said, "No, this ain't it"? Nah.
Oh, I'm lying. Yup. In the very beginning, it was so many. I had so many breakdowns, and then because they just was throwing loans at me, so I'm taking them. You know what I mean? But every time I get a loan, that joint break down, man, and it'd be like $6,000-$7,000 to fix. Then you know why you broke down. You losing money. Then you got insurance, truck note, all that stuff right behind each other. So I know I broke down. I can't. Matter of fact, my turbo went out in Virginia, in Richmond, Virginia. It's me and Najee.
Yeah.
And
Cuz did start with you. I remember that.
Yeah, he came a little after.
Okay.
He came like 6 months after I started. So my turbo went out in Richmond, Virginia. We can't go over like 20 miles an hour.
Y'all in limp mode.
We can't with no turbo. You know, that turbo's what pushed that truck. And I was empty. I didn't even have a load, but because it's pulling the trailer, it still don't have enough power to do anything. So it's like a car pulling the trailer. Mm-hmm. So we can't go over 20 miles an hour, bro. I drove that joint all the way back from Richmond, Virginia to Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Doing 20.
20 miles an hour. It took me like 22 hours.
I about to say, what's that, like a 7-hour ride usually?
Yeah, it took 22 hours. Jeez. Yep. And Najee just kept laughing, bro. You want to switch? He kept trying to get in the seat, so I go front.
You so mad? You are like,
it's straight anxiety, bro. Straight, man. We ain't got the money to pay for it for one,
right?
Especially out of town,
out of bounds,
and I don't want to be stuck out of town,
right? In Virginia.
So I'm just telling him like, yo, bro, we gonna ride to this joint, just break out. Right. I mean, just break down on the highway.
Literally, till the wheels fall off.
Yes, and we had got into it with these white dudes, man, in South Carolina, because it started smoking real bad because the oil was leaking out the turbo pipe. So I pulled over in South Carolina. I asked them to do one thing because it wasn't regen. So we pull over in a pallet to regen, and I asked them if they could force regen it. They're like, yeah. The girl told us, yeah. So I left it. We went in the truck, started to get something to eat, to chill for a minute, whatever. I'm like, damn, they taking too long. It was like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
I go back. I see they got parts taken off the truck and everything.
Whoa, who told y'all to do that?
Go back in the office. She like, oh, we can't force a regen if your turbo not working. Why you ain't just say that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, all right, yo, what we doing? Oh, they started telling me all the stuff I needed, $14,000. They won't have the parts till Monday, this, that, and
put my shit back.
I went through, we mauled through the shop, through the thing, the truck stop, and we went through the back.
Yeah.
All right, watch out. Nah, went out there, so me and Najee, we in the back looking at the parts and stuff. So I'm like, yo, who took this off? So there's 3 of them. They come back there, and the one that's doing it, he like Mexican or something. Mm-hmm. He like, yeah, man, we couldn't do that. We couldn't force regen it because of this and that. And I'm like, all right, well, just put my stuff back, cause I ain't actually doing none of this.
None of that.
He started talking to DOT, and you can't drive the truck like that. We can't just let you drive the truck like that.
You're not about to
because
stop
of
me.
DOT and da-da-da, and I ain't putting the parts back because that's a violation, da-da-da. So I just started cursing that nigga out, man. We started just wilding on him, and I think the girl, somebody called the police. They calling the police now.
Yeah.
But I noticed he had it was them two, but it was a big white boy. This nigga was like 6'5". I'm like, Najee already got the bat in his hand, though.
Of course.
Najee already got the bat in his hand. So I'm like, yeah, he gonna be the problem.
Yeah.
Tattoos everywhere. He eating the apple and shit, but he ain't saying nothing the whole time. He just standing there looking at him and looking at me, just eating the apple or whatever. But I'm still just cursing them niggas out. And I could tell he chain gang. I could tell by the tattoos he chain gang. I could tell he been to prison and shit. So I know he's a prison nigga.
Yeah.
So then dude just like, I ain't doing this, da 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 da. Then he said, you can't. He telling me like, yo, you can't drive it anyway. This, that, and the third. Man, I'm still put it back, bro. I don't give a damn about none of that shit. I'm driving it and you putting it back because I ain't tell you take it off.
Right.
Whatever. So then he getting all red and shit. So he finally turned around. He like, man, what the fuck? To the big white boy.
Like, you ain't gonna say nothing?
He just was like, man, what? I guess he was like confused on what he should do or whatever. And dude was like, man, I mean, he ain't asked you to take it off. Just put it back on, man. Let him go. That ain't none of our business.
That's his business. Yeah.
Yeah. He like, man, that ain't nothing, but that don't got nothing to do with us. He like, he can't drive with it. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
You want to get your ass whooped over it?
You should never took his stuff off. Straight up.
Y'all hustling at this point.
White boy was solid.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, put it back on, man. And then he just turned around and went back in the office and shit. And the dude put it back on. We got up out of there.
Before the police came.
I got pulled over. No, not pulled over. I got up out of there, but if he didn't put it together the way it was supposed to be put together for this situation, so I had to pull over again because now it's smoking crazy. I pulled over at the next exit. I just wanted to get away from them.
Yeah.
So we pull over, but in that part of South Carolina, you could see everything on the side from the highway.
Yeah.
You see everything on the street, whatever. I'm talking about that's like right before Georgia. We about 4 hours from the crib.
Home.
We almost home. And so I gotta wrap it with duct tape, bunch of Gorilla Glue tape.
Okay.
Bunch of Gorilla Glue tape. So I'm doing that, me and Not. We both doing it. That's why he didn't tape it and shit. Of course he not gonna tape it.
No, he ain't gonna do nothing for you.
DOT, South Carolina. I said, oh, he got us. And they got us, bro. Damn. I said, don't look, but DOT right there. I'm still. Boom, boom, boom. You know, DOT, that's the feds, basically. Right. DOT see this, they can lock us up for real. They don't play about you duct taping this shit together. You're bugging. Ain't gonna drive down the highway.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Shit, come off. I said, oh, he coming, Najee. Najee still ain't looking. He like, just hurry up, bro. Hurry up, bro. I said, all right, good. Because he tried to tape it and close the hood before he get it. Man, it's so hot, though. The turbo pipe, hot as hell. So, you know, we going through all that. He pull up. Man, it's an old school plantation black guy, man. I'm talking about he had to be 88, barely walking. Little, too. He about 110 pounds. You know what I mean? Yo, so me and Najee under the hood.
Like y'all don't see him.
Like we don't see him. We still ain't look at him. He done pulled up right here. The car right here. He hop out. He walking, taking his time walking. Right? So Najee stepped back. Like, how you doing, officer? He just shook his head. That nigga face, his head right here next to mine. We both under the hood. He said, you think that's gonna hold it? I said,
we hope so.
I said, yeah, nah, we gonna be good. We gonna be good. He said, how far are you going? I forgot. I gave him a city in South Carolina. I ain't telling him Georgia.
Yeah.
I gave him the next city
like
in South Carolina.
Like we the close.
Yeah. I told him that. He said, y'all just came from the truck stop? I said, yeah. He said, okay. You sure you gonna make it? I said, yeah, we gonna make it. All right, be safe. Walked off, got in his truck, took off. I said, ooh, God sent him.
Won't he do it?
God sent him. Najee, let's go.
We out.
Let's go, man. Old school saved us, man. Spared us. Old black man. That's why I be trying to tell Kurt, we gotta get the badge to help our people, bro.
Right.
And he was before the 1960s.
Yeah.
He was thorough. He was thorough, man. Old school black nigga. I'm telling you, I never forget his face, man. He was thorough. He ain't have a care in the world. He wasn't messing with us, though. Ain't no way in the world tape was supposed to be on the turbo and all that shit, taping the turbo up on the engine and all that. He was like, man, you sure you gonna make it? I'm like, yeah, we gonna make it. He's like, all right, be safe. Took off.
Man.
That's the only, also when I got back, my bad, got lost in that story. But when I got back, we popped probably like $800 to our name, bro. And
together.
Word. And shit broke down. My mechanic, it was like $5,000 to fix, a little bit under $5,000. And then I call her cousin Monica, family.
Yeah.
She called my mom's probably the next day or something and said, yo, how you doing? I had a dream about him. See if he need any help. Out the blue. Out the blue, son. My mom's a verified.
Yeah.
Call my mom. My mom's called me. I think she had to call my mom's twice because my mom's forgot. But then she called me. She like, yo, Monica want to know how everything going with you. If she could help in any way. You know, she got a couple of dollars for you. I said, what? Because me and Najee already making plans to jump back in the streets. This shit is over.
Right.
We already making plans.
We tried it.
All right, yeah, it's over with, bro. We ain't got it. Call such and such so we could get, you know what I mean, on the arm. You know what I mean? Mom dudes called me, man, the next day. Monica want to know, what you need. I said, what? Then I said, yeah, whatever she could spare. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And she like, all right, well, let her call her back and see what's up. Mom's calling me back. She like, she said, well, 5,000 help? What? The bill is 4 and some change. How'd she come up with that number?
Out of the blue.
Told me she had a dream. Yeah, from a dream. Came up with that number. I said, yeah, that's
Mom Dukes right
tell
here.
her that's perfect. See, I don't be making this shit up. I don't know if people be thinking I'll be making these stories up, man.
Nah, you ain't fat. You ain't hitting us with the fat joke.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing the fat joke. I can't make this up, man. You know what I mean? Monica is the reason why I'm still rolling to this day, man.
That's
straight up.
dope. That
Straight
just can't ride on time.
Auntie cousin Monica.
Okay. That's
and we pay, and she sent it, and you know how people be talking too. Oh, tell them I got this, and it's 3 days later they still ain't do the.
Now they ain't answering the phone.
Immediately.
That's what's up.
Wire transfer.
That's a hell of a dream. She felt it.
Angel.
Wow.
Angel.
So how has you think entrepreneurship changed you as a man? Like talk about like the BJ before trucking and now. Like what's the biggest difference?
It's just legal.
Okay.
I've always been an entrepreneur. It's just legal now.
Okay.
I've always been an entrepreneur. Because before the trucking, before I went back to the chain game, we was out here winning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Strong.
What up, man?
$1 million operation, bro. It is what it is.
I remember.
Monthly. You know? Niggas in the chat. Niggas was there.
Yeah.
That shit started with $4,000. Word up. So I always had that spirit, but
Head said facts. What up, Head?
we don't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
If I'd have had the knowledge when I had the bread, I would have bought 10 trucks. You know what I mean? And been straight.
Especially back then.
Because I was trying to get out the way.
I remember.
Yeah, I was trying to get out the way. I remember when I looked up all types of friends, I'm like, nah, I got to get a franchise. Because one thing about it, people talk all this stuff like, yo, why you don't never quit and go legit and all that? Because 9 times out of 10, the person that's getting the money, any real money, they don't have time to quit and start from the ground up on something that might make some money that's not even going to make the amount of money that they're making now.
Impossible.
So if I'm making $10,000 a week, clockwork, no problem. I can't stop what I'm doing to try to do something legally that I probably won't even make $10,000 a month in.
Ain't no way.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you got 10,000. Because you got them same
It don't
amount
work
of bills.
like that.
Yeah.
For real. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you need the team. You need the people that's going to concentrate on that, and you could keep doing this.
Right.
And that's the only thing I was missing. Because I sure was like, you know what I mean? You know, I was trying. I even hollered at my mom, but I had to wait for her. She had to retire. You know what I'm saying? She ain't had the time neither.
Were you about to get a cell phone store or something?
Nah, I think I did think about a cell phone store too, but it was. I know the first franchise I really looked at was the Wingstop.
Okay.
Wingstop was $75. At the time I looked at it.
Yeah.
When Rick Ross started rapping about Wingstop, I looked at it again. I'm talking about months later, it went to $500,000.
Just like that.
As soon as he started rapping about Wingstop. Because Unc didn't even know what a Wingstop was.
Right.
And I was like, yo, we could put it in New York, whatever. Even Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I was talking about Chick-fil-A before New York had a Chick-fil-A. Before New York had their first Chick-fil-A, I was talking about Chick-fil-A. That's 2012.
Davon said you tried to buy everything.
2011, 2012. Where I was trying to find a way. Because I knew I was going to jail. I just wanted something to have something. So when I come home, you know what I mean? I know I was going to jail.
And your fear came to life, right?
Yeah, it's not even, you just know.
I'm talking about not having nothing to come home to.
Yeah. Because at this point, if you out there doing what you're doing, you breaking the law.
Yeah.
And you don't, in your mind, you don't, add in that you're gonna go to jail eventually. This is gonna come to an end. You're a fool. You're delusional.
Yeah.
You're delusional.
You had a hell of a run though.
Straight up. Yeah, we had a good run, 2.5, 3 years maybe.
Okay. What up, Banks? Banks in the chat.
What up, Banks? A lot of close calls.
So they like that intro.
Yeah, cross, man.
You had a lot of close calls?
Yeah, a lot of close calls with everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I done been pulled over with
a life sentence.
Yeah, we done been pulled over time and time again. Like I said, them people, the feds was following us. The feds locked Shaniqua up one time. That's when I knew it was getting real, when they snatched
She was one of the ones going into the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay.
We all was.
Okay.
But she was being followed that day. And I had pulled up on her. So she called me. She's like, yo, there's 2 white men in a pickup truck following me. Every time I stop, they right there. I'm like, all right, don't do nothing else. Meet us over here on the racetrack. I believe Davon was with me that day too. But we always did. So we pull up. So when she pulled in the racetrack, we was already there though, waiting. So by the time she pulled in on Pleasant Hill, she pulled in. I seen the pickup truck pulling behind her.
Yeah.
And she pulled up next to me, and we all got out, and they kept going. They looked and kept going. drove out the racetrack. She's like, you see them, right? I was like, yeah, that's them. That's them boys. I said, go home.
Yeah.
But she made one more stop. She didn't go straight home.
Hardhead.
She made one more stop, and they snatched her up.
Shaniqua, what you on? Like you?
Shanika was grinding, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, Shanika was in grind mode.
She like, they ain't gonna stop my coins.
Shanika
I ain't doing nothing wrong for one.
Yeah, they locked her up and held her for like 8 hours. Took her kids, all that, cause she had her kids with her. Took her 2 daughters, her babies. They was like 7 and 5.
Damn.
Took her babies, took like 40,000 from her.
She had it in the car.
Yeah, and then I knew something was wrong because I was calling her to make sure she had got home and shit. Calling her. She not answering. Then it started going straight to voicemail. Now it's like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, nah, this ain't like Shaniqua. Then her mother called me looking for her. Like, yo, you heard from her? I'm like, nah, I ain't heard from her. I'm looking for her too. Then she finally called me like 10 o'clock, 10:30, crying and stuff. Like, yo, what happened? She like, yo, they locked me up. I've been here since like 1 o'clock. I don't know where my kids at. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they definitely don't play fair.
She like, yeah, I don't know where my kids at. They not telling me, where you at? She like, I'm still up here. Don't go nowhere. I'm on the way. We about to make a scene, bro.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready to go to jail.
Yeah, because they playing.
So I'm on the way. Donnie might have been with me. Somebody was with me. So we on the way up there. And her mother called me back. Like, where you at, BJ? I'm like, shit, I'm on the way to the jail. You know what I mean? She like,
don't do that.
You know, she said, no, I'm on the way up there.
Okay.
I'm on the way up there. I'm like, yeah, because ain't no way in the world they about to tell her they don't know where her kids at. You crazy? We about to tear this shit up.
Facts.
I'm already in tear up mode. As soon as I come in, I'm throwing chairs and everything. I'm already in the mode, bro.
Everybody
going to jail.
Yeah, everybody.
She like, no, I'm going to find my grandkids. Don't worry. You wait. I'm on the way up there now. You just wait for me to call you back. Okay. I said, all right, I'm gonna be at the quit trip. We'll be at the quit trip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? About 45 minutes later, grandma called me back. I got my babies. I said, yeah, I bet you did. She wasn't playing.
Grandma ain't playing.
Yeah, she said she went in there cursing everybody out. Y'all got me fucked. You know,
because for one, they supposed to call her next to
They wasn't even supposed to have them kids.
Exactly.
Man, they brought them kids out there in 5 minutes, man. They ain't got no shoes on, nose running, you know what I mean? Pissy. You know what I mean? Yo, they violated, bro. They violated. I was hot. They violated. No charges.
Of course not.
No charges. I was talking to Noah about that, man. They do that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Detain you and hold you and no charges. Just let you go.
Cause I don't know the exact law, but can't they hold you for 24 hours or 48 hours?
They can't hold you for nothing. They gotta let you go. They ain't charge you with nothing. They not even supposed to take you to the precinct. They ain't charging you.
What about the people that be on like they hold for public intoxication? That's the charge?
They charge them with something.
Okay.
Indecent or something. They charge them with something. You know
Got
what
you.
I mean? Yeah, they charged them with something.
That's wicked, man.
But yeah, they was you know, they just was they was pressing her to tell them something. Came with my mugshot and stuff, you know.
Cause they're not believing the cigarettes. They're like, this is obviously much deeper. Yeah.
And they had to let her go because she ain't know nothing. She ain't talking about nothing. Like, nah, that's my brother, but nah, I don't know what he doing.
First of all, ain't nothing to say once I'm in handcuffs. Yeah. We could talk all
day. What
bro.
You doing with it? She like, man, I ain't doing nothing. I'm just saving them.
Yeah.
I'm buying them and I'm saving them.
Yeah.
That's it. Smoking them.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I show up every day. If you a man, try that. Can't call yourself a man if you make a challenge, deny that. I was a bad son, now I'm a good dad, I'm hands-on. My kids ain't raised by no iPad. I show up every day. If you a man, try that. Can't call yourself a man if